Hey guys, here we are at the Welder Up shop. Look, I know a lot of people come, they stop by, they check it out, but those of you that have never been to Welder Up and you'd like to see some of the stuff that we have in here, I am a collector. I have a lot of collection of mostly junk, but I use a lot of this stuff in my build. So come on through here and I'll show you what we got going. Okay, first you come in, you step into the swag shop. This is where we make our money. So if you come to Vegas, you come to Welder Up, make sure you stop and buy a damn shirt so I can keep doing this shit, okay? Anyway, as you can see, if you look around in here, I love to decorate. It's probably one of my, aside of building cars, doing design, interior design, decorating, building facades, building gas stations in front of my house. I mean, you name it, I've pretty much covered it. But as you can see, like up here in the corner, I got this old Model A that's sitting in here that I found out in the field. I mean, that is completely a buildable car, but I use it for landscaping here at the shop. This is actually a complete Model A Ford motor that I put here because I wanted to make it run. It actually does, the transmission turns the wheel up there. So my plan was to get it to fire up and run all day and that go around, but then we got worried about little kids getting their fingers stuck in the U-joints and we didn't want that to happen, so that kind of blew that idea. You know, I got a collection of hubcaps that I had. I actually got rid of a bunch of them, but I just made a wall out of them because I had so many of them. A lot of this stuff you see up above and on the railings, I really kind of wanted to just give it the feel of like your grandpa's garage or your grandpa's shed, like out in the middle of nowhere on a farm or a ranch. And a lot of this stuff actually came out of old buildings like that. You know, a ton of this stuff did. When you're standing here at the counter and you are purchasing your shirt, maybe a sticker or whatever you want, you kind of can stand here and just take this all in. I mean, you got this old Model A truck up here. The old wheels are on it. It's just really cool looking. A bunch of old cylinder heads from flatheads, and the backdrop, and you know, it's just kind of cool because as you're sitting here paying for your stuff, you can kind of look up in there and just see all this little stuff. And that was kind of my vision of when you're here, you're not going to get bored. You know what I mean? There's so many places that you go and it's just kind of boring to go in there. If you're a car guy and you're here, even if you're not a car guy, like the wives that come in here with their husbands, by the time they leave here, they just have had such a great experience with all the things in the art and, you know, the details that are going into this place. But I've got a bunch of wheels up here that I collect, a bunch of the old spoke wheels. I mean, most of them are bent, so you can't really do much with them. So I just welded them all in, made a little wall out of it to kind of give a little bit backdrop into our swag department here. All right, so here in the shop we have kind of something really cool. We've got some of Evel Knievel's collection, which Kelly Knievel, which is Evel Knievel's oldest son, we got together and decided that it'd be a good idea to bring this stuff down here so people can get a good look at it. This actually was one of his old jet motorcycles that he used to drive around in the arenas before he'd do the jumps on his bikes. It has a jet engine on it. I'm sure this thing probably has not been started in 40 years. So one of my goals on one of our YouTube segments on our YouTube channel is going to be getting this thing put together and make it run and drive. It's a little, as you can see, it's a little sketchy because like the handlebars are ready to fall off. There's no brakes. I mean, there's going to be definitely a lot of work that goes into this thing to make it actually work and run. We got his old electric wheelchair that this wheelchair company actually sponsored him as he got older. Of course, if you're Evel Knievel, you're probably pretty crippled by the time you're in your later years, but he used to drive this thing around. This was a bike that they made, an Evel Knievel bike. It's a Hoffman bike. It's pretty cool. It's actually signed right here by Evel Knievel, one of 2,000 of them. So it's pretty cool to have his signature on that bike. We got a few of his pictures back there, him jumping stuff back in his old days. We got this bronze statue, which is pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's super cool. Like, I mean, if you look how big his hands are on there, and like, I think when they built it, they wanted to give it that look like I'm coming at you. So it's really cool looking. We've got more that we'll show you over there in a minute. All right, this area over here is just kind of some landscaping that I wanted to kind of give you that feeling that when you're in here, you feel like you're where a rat rod could be found or where you find parts. And I still use this. This is all usable stuff. I come in here like, there was a car body here that I built into something, and now we put this here. A lot of these old grill shells and stuff that are laying around in here, I've been through here, and I actually need to go get more because I've used all the good ones that I had at one time. Here's an old truck that I found that somebody was at one point probably taking. This is about a 1934 Ford Model A truck. Somebody had tried to chop it. They didn't do a very good job, but I just left it in there because it turned out to be good landscaping. Same with some of this. This building used to be a shed in my backyard. I brought it in, and I basically just put old wood over it, burned the wood, and I wanted to make it look like an old building. You know, having this old vintage mini bike here. I got a guy back there that looks like he's welding. Got one of my bib overalls on and my old welding shirt and a hat. And I wanted to kind of make this look like a work area. As you can see, is we got the broke dick welding truck in here with an old welder up on the back right there. So, you know, I wanted to kind of make it look like it was something that, you know, natural, like from say this truck's been parked here for 40 years when it's only been here for 4 or 5 years. I wanted to look like it's been here for 40 years. So, and you know, things get piled up in here. It used to be landscaped a little bit better, but over the years things are getting kicked around and lost, and you know, I don't know what happens. It just happens to be people just, I mean, we destroy it. When I have to come out here and get something, I just come in and take it and go. So. You can see that this old truck parked in here looks kind of cool. I got this old visible gas pump, which is really cool. I'm into the gas pumps, and I'm into porcelain signs. As you can see, I've got old porcelain signs up on the walls. I've got the actual signs with the stand on them, like the standard with the globe. I mean, just the glass globe up on the top up there is probably worth, I would say that glass globe is probably worth about $800 because it's original. And most kids shot those out with their BB guns when they were little. So not a lot of those survived, especially if they took them down, they usually would break. And then, you know, this is actually the bathroom in the shop that was here, but I made it look old. I wanted to give it a feel of, you know, like an old shed out in the middle of nowhere. It's got an old motorcycle up there, some old Model A parts. You know, if I ever find, when I build these Model A's, I could probably build a car almost out of what's laying around in here. And that's what this is all about, is finding this stuff and putting it together, welding it back together, and building a car. Like, I could build a car probably out of the stuff that's laying around in this shop right now. This one here is, this old car in my landscaping is probably a 1928, 29 Ford. And what they did back in the old days is they would cut the back out of a Model A coupe and put a bed in there and make a truck out of it, which is pretty cool. So this part behind me right here, it's actually a storage unit on the other side where I store a lot of stuff, but on the fascia of it, I want it to look like an old gas station or somewhere where a guy would work on a car. The wood that's actually built around here with this big channel iron that's bolted to it actually came out of Hoover Dam. So back in 1932, when they were building the dam out here not too far, which at the time they called it, I think, Hoover Dam. Then it was Boulder Dam, and I don't know, they got all kinds of names for it. It's but anyway, the dam, this is the dam wood that came out of the dam, you know what I mean? And I put the dam wood in my dam shop so people could see the damn thing, okay? So anyway, as you can see, these are old square bolts. You know, they don't make this kind of stuff no more. It's old square bolts. This old wood is really cool. I think it's like 12 or 14 inches by 12. So it's really cool to have a little bit of Nevada history in here, you know. I mean, that wood now is 85 years old. I mean, it's old, you know, and it's still here. I'm still using it. When I found this wood, I've got a bunch at home that I built my personal gas station at home out of, and it's just really neat. But I wanted to kind of give this thing a backdrop of an old shop, somewhere where some old guys would be working on some stuff. You know, we got the 34 Plymouth in here, and we got this 29 Ford sedan parked in there. It looks really cool. It just gives it a really neat offset. So this car right here behind me is the actual Evel Knievel car. Evel Knievel would haul us around to some of the events that he did. Before he would wheelie his motorcycle and jump it over a big jump, he would wheelie this car in front of the crowds and the audience. Now this car was built in about 1975. It's got a big block Chevy in it. At the time it had a really nasty big block Chevy in it. It's been stolen and taken out of the car. When we got the car, we kind of put back together what we had here so we could go drive it and have some fun with it. But it is pretty cool. I mean, when you get in this car and you stand on the throttle and the front end of this car comes up, it's no joke. You got to stay on it. If you want to keep the front end of there, you got to floor it as fast as you can go. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool sensation to actually do it. I mean, we did the episode of TV where we actually wheelied it down the Las Vegas Boulevard. And to be in something that Evel Knievel used back in the old days when he was wheeling and doing his stunts, you know, he jumped the fountains in December of '69, and it was really cool for me to actually take this car down Las Vegas Boulevard and wheelie it down Las Vegas Boulevard. It was something that most guys my age and older would put on their bucket list, and it was pretty awesome. It's cool, but it is a neat car. It's all made out of fiberglass. This is the original paint. When we found the car, I wanted to leave it alone. All the hand striping, it's that they hand stripe Evel Knievel on it. As you can see down the side of the car, you can see like I like to see this kind of stuff right here. You know, this right here tells me that they were loading a motorcycle up in a trailer, and that was the foot peg just getting grinded all the way down the side of it. Like, there was a point where they probably didn't care, and it took a beating. The only thing that we really did is we redid the seat in this thing because it was so rotten that we wanted to redo the seat. I've got the original seat steel, but as you can see down in here, it's got the hand controls, so when you're driving it, the front wheels come off the ground. You can't steer it no more, so basically you steer it off the rear brakes. It's got a big block Chevy in it. It runs the transmission to a transfer case, and the transfer case actually drives the drive line to the rear end. The rear end in this is flipped backwards, so it's almost like a V-drive in the rear, and it drives the rear end, and just all the weight counterweighted back here, so when you stomp on the throttle, it comes up in the air and it takes off. Pretty cool piece to actually have in our shop. I love looking at it. Hey guys, now that you got a sneak peek here at Welder Up, listen, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, you like and subscribe. And then also the link below, you could click there and it will take you directly to our tour so you can enter up to get on the tour. or if you want some swag, you can get some swag off there also. But make sure that you guys like and subscribe our page on YouTube, and then you can follow us because we are going to be posting weekly videos on biographies on the cars and stuff that we're doing here at Welder Up. Thank you.